Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Living Life at Life U. I am your host, Dr. Veronica Garcia, and today I am joined by an essential piece, faculty member, and honestly, everything in between at the university, Dr. Stephen Paterno. Hi, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to have you and so excited for you to share everything that you do with our beautiful community.
I will do what I can.
So let's start at the beginning. Dr. Paterno, you are a chiropractor.
Yes.
All right. What inspired you to become a chiropractor?
I always thought it was interesting and exciting how quickly chiropractic helped people. So my family's not chiropractors, they're educators, they're all sorts of different stuff. But to see like my dad or my mom would be hurt, go to their chiropractic office and come home better, I thought it was very interesting, bordering on magic. And then the more I learned about it, I was like, you know what? I could see doing this for a couple of years. Yeah. And here we are.
And a couple of years, how long has it been?
Since I decided to be a chiropractor at 12 years old. So I'm pushing 30 years of the thought process, and I've been licensed for 15.
Wow, that's so beautiful. And I love that you said that 30 years since the age of 12, because I think that the moment that you choose to become a chiropractor or a chiropractor chooses you, you are becoming one.
Which was weird because it was like I was 12 years old and they're like, yeah, I'm going to be a chiropractor when I grow up. And my parents were like, okay, that's weirdly specific, but sure. And then everything I did, high school, college, all got me ready for it.
So what did you do?
I did biology with a chemistry concentration in college. I didn't know at the time that everybody got accepted to chiropractic college if they met the standards, but I went to a school that funneled students from Pennsylvania to other chiropractic colleges throughout the world, and then ended up at Palmer, Florida for my degree, and now here.
Nice. That's awesome. So where was the shift or the change from being in practice to becoming part of the faculty team at the university?
So I was 2 or 3 years into practice in Pennsylvania, and I liked teaching. I got a couple of jobs as an adjunct instructor at a nursing college. I was teaching anatomy, physiology, wine and cheese food science, which was very well received.
Oh, yes, I want to know more about this.
Yeah, so we actually hosted the final at a wine bar, and we did teacher evaluations that day too. So it was a great class. And then I was like, I wonder if there's a way I could teach people how to be chiropractors. And Parker University had just posted a job for a clinic faculty position there. And I said, okay, I'll move to Texas and see how that goes. And then enjoyed it, was really busy, was one of the busiest people there, was averaging almost 100 people a day on a good day for about 6 years. And then they started asking me to do some more assessment stuff, some more testing, running their version of OSCE. And then Texas is a lot, and we're East Coast people. I'm at peace with that now. So we saw this position open up at Life University and jumped on it, and it's been going on 4.5 years now. Wow.
So from Florida to Pennsylvania to Texas to Georgia.
Yep. All
right. Yeah, and you are at peace that you belong here.
Yeah. Georgia has a beautiful combination of, we can get to the beach, you can go hiking, it's rural, it's urban. If you want Thai food at 3 a.m., you can get it. Yes. You want to go ride a horse in the woods, you can do that.
Absolutely.
So it's a really cool combination.
And then every 4 or 5 years, we have those 3 inches of snow?
Yeah. And then hopefully we get some more and go sledding for the day. And just as long as it doesn't happen on OSCE day, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, okay. So let's talk about OSCEs.
All
right. What is OSCEs?
So OSCE or CLIN 4801 is a former 12th quarter class, now 11th quarter class that is wholly assessment based. Our goal is multifaceted. We are working with students who are about to take part 3 and part 4 of their boards. So we give a couple of different portions of testing that mimic board style testing. There's a radiology section, a critical thought section, and the on-ground. For the radiology, we set up stuff just like Part 3's radiology. Can you identify this tumor? Do you know what this fracture is? Cool. What do we do about it? Critical thinking is all of the thought process around questions. So why would I do this thing? If the patient presents with XYZ, who do I send them to? What do I evaluate? What tests do I do? That kind of thing. And then the big show is week 4 is the on-ground baby part 4. So basically students are run through a gamut of stations that are almost identical to what they'll see with NBCE's part 4. And it's a great preparation. It's very stressful for the students, but we have a really great success rate of students who pass OSCE, pass part 4. And my favorite complaint about OSCE is it's so much harder than part 4. It's not. It's just that a lot of students sit down and finally do the work and go, you know what, I need to brush up on orthopedics. And then they do. And then when they ask or are asked that in boards testing, they're fine.
Yeah.
There's nothing they haven't seen before, and they get licensed.
Absolutely. I think that I was a student in the university when we had 2 set of OSCEs, right? So entering clinic for the very first time, and also moving from clinic into peak, right? And I think that was one of the highlights for me for part 4, because I remember not really studying much for it because I felt so secure. I was like, okay, I know that I know my stuff. I've taken this twice already. And even if you take it once, it's already a preparation for it, right? And walked into the room, yes, you know, you're profusely sweating through your armpits, of course. It's a really important test for you to pass. But once I started, I remember going from room 1 to room 2, and I was like, oh, I totally got this. Yeah. This is nothing, right? This is easy. And I definitely do agree that all of that is thanks to taking OSCEs in the first place. Yeah,
and there are a lot of different steps in an educational pathway that a student takes here at the university to get them prepared for this kind of thing. Part 4 is, for most students who are going to practice in the United States, the big benchmark they're worried about. But realistically, I think it's the easiest part of assessment. It's the easiest part of boards. Realistically, at 10th, 12th quarter, you should be able to do basic diagnosis and treat somebody who's real straightforward. So this gives us the opportunity to ensure that the students can do that. And then it allows the student to leave to go to a peak office or to graduate.
And what would you say then to those students that are kind of having troubles with getting the material and absorbing it in the classroom setting, and then all of a sudden they're hit with the OSCEs? And I say all of a sudden as in you're aware that it's coming.
Right. But. Yeah. It's every fourth week, every quarter, every last 4 years. So it's coming.
But it will be for some of those that, you know, get to that 12th quarter and they're like, oh, it's week 4. And I really don't know how to even get ready. What are some of those advice that you would give them where it should start earlier and things that they should be putting into place?
So I would say preparation for boards and preparation for OSCE is not the kind of thing you cram the night before. It's not designed to be like a biochem question or biochem test where you just, not to pick on biochemistry, but most people in chiropractic school don't use biochemistry after part 1. You should be using radiology. You should be critically thinking. You should be taking care of patients all the time in your clinical setting. So this is really just to show up and show us that you can do it.
I think that one of the very beautiful experiences, having now worked for a few quarters in the Campus Center for Optimal Health and Performance as one of the faculty clinicians, is that once they get out of class, they're like, okay, I'm done. All right, I don't need this. Out the door, right? And it goes into the conversation with the interns. Okay, now you have this patient. What are we going to do, right? I guess my question would be, if you had some advice to give them for 6th, 7th, and 8th quarter, understanding that they're so loaded with a lot of beautiful information that is going to be needed, what are some small steps that they can do either on a weekly or a daily basis that allows them to retain that information better?
So I think that boils down to the bigger issue between memorizing or learning something to get through an exam and actually understanding and internalizing that knowledge. So when I teach 4th quarter head and neck, and I teach whatever quarter people choose to take at risk management. And for head and neck in 4th quarter, a lot of students are studying week 3's material for week 4's test. And then after week 4's test, they just purge it. It is no longer in there. It's no longer relevant. And I've had students tell me, well, I don't need to know this. My osteo class was 2 quarters ago. And I usually respond with, well, my last osteo class was quarters ago. And I'm still legally responsible to know it because I'm a licensed provider. So not binging and purging information and working through practice of setups, practice of orthopedic rooms. Pick 4 things out of the lab manual and make your friend do it in 5 minutes. That's what the stations are right now, because that's what part 4 is right now, which is changing, and we will change to match it. But just running through, if I gave you Kemp's test, straight leg raise, Valsalva, and a blood pressure, you should be able to do it in 5 minutes. Just keep practicing doing it. You have the information now. It's all lab manual. If it's not in the lab manual, it's in the lab manual. And if it comes from anywhere else, it's the lab manual.
Lab manuals. Got it.
Read that. Yes.
So I think that one of the, I'm so proud of things of Life University is that we have such a high passing rate for Part 4. Would you say, and would you agree with me, that it is 100% related with the fact that they've been exposed to OSCEs, but also the quality of the professors and your lab manuals?
Yes, the lab manual notwithstanding. I think that we as a university put out great clinicians.
Right.
Because everyone that's at this university wants to be a clinician. I think that's why it's not really that much of an effort to see our students do so well on Part 4 is because they want to do it. And they're ready to.
Absolutely. And you mentioned that you teach head and neck, correct? What else do you teach?
Or head and neck anatomy.
Head and neck anatomy.
4th quarter class.
Gotcha. Head and neck anatomy.
Yep.
And you also teach risk management.
Yes.
Anything else?
Depends on the quarter. So whatever needs to get done, I'm happy to jump in and do stuff. It's been, in my time, I've taught a lot of stuff. So I'm always happy to help as long as it's not the hard sciences, because I don't need those as a practicing chiropractor.
Oh, I'm sorry. Love you guys.
Sorry, I don't need it.
Let's talk a little bit about risk management.
Okay.
Because as a practicing clinician, I think this is one that, you just have one credit to do for continuing education every year. And a lot of times it's just a check mark. But when you go to the class, there's so much important, relevant information that we need to adapt. What would you tell students? Why is it important to have good risk management education, but also to keep up with it? And what's the impact of risk management?
I think the quickest answer for that is Google whatever town you want to practice in, chiropractor arrested, and you're going to find a case of someone who wasn't following the rules, was doing something inappropriate, and got themselves in trouble for it. And that's damaging to not only the individual and their family that's affected by it, the victims of that kind of thing, but it hurts the profession. So the best thing we can do is the best thing and treat people well. It'll work out.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time. I hope that you continue just pouring into the students. Thank you for moving all the way to Georgia. I hope that you are loving it here forever.
Georgia's great. I like it here.
We're very grateful to have you on our team, on our staff, on our faculty. And students love and adore you. So that's one of the reasons why you were also picked to be here. 4th
quarter kids like me. 12th quarter kids really, this week, they are not a fan. They will be when they get through Part 4.
They're going to be great. They're going to look back like I do on a daily basis and say, you know what? Thank you for sitting through those OSCEs and rocking it that first time, because now look where we are.
Exactly. That's why they made us do it. So that's
it makes sense at the end, guys. We promise. It makes sense at the end. Well, thank you. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you for spending some time with us. Good luck with OSCEs. Good luck with everything in between and everything after.
Thank you.
You're going to do amazing. And we'll see you guys on the next episode of Living Life, a Life You. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.